Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this rounding third, joined as always by my friend and co-host
Haden Raymer.
Haden Raymer. He is here. We have so much exciting news to talk about with you guys. Um, it really is exciting. Baseball season is officially in full swing. Um, that's awesome.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
great.
is.
Love it.
It's so great. I love
My
it so
mood just
much.
immediately improved like tenfold as soon as the baseball season started. It's probably a little unhealthy that that's the relationship that baseball and I have, but it's fine. We just accept it.
Of course. Each do whatever works, whatever
Yeah.
works. Um, yeah, it's been a week of baseball, and as baseball tends to do, there's been drama because what's baseball without heaps and heaps of drama?
Yeah.
Uh, so it's there.
Mhm.
It's there for all of us to look at and gawk at and break down. So Hayden, where do you want to start?
I mean, there's a lot to talk about today. Uh, I mean, honestly, we gotta talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, Anthony Rendon. That's, I mean, when you're talking about the first couple weeks, that's kind of has to be talked about. I feel like
Probably,
probably.
definitely,
Uh,
absolutely.
so I mean, for those of you who are unaware, which that's probably very few people at this point, Anthony Rendon is serving a 4-game suspension because he grabbed the fan by his shirt and then proceeded to swipe at him. And yeah, I mean that's what happened. It was right on camera. There was somebody right next to him. There was somebody also like way up in the stands that caught like a different angle. Uh, and I don't know. I feel like Jeremy, you and I have the same idea here, and that's you can't be doing that.
Let him.
Let who?
Look, if fans want to scream, let him pick one fan every game.
Uh, no. I mean, I think I was listening to, I believe it was Baseball Today, uh, and I think, or yeah, I think it was Baseball Today, and they had a solid point, and it's just like both are kind of in the wrong there. Uh, to be a grown man, and just heckle, uh, like right there, like not even just from like way up in stands, but like to come all the way down to the front row, lean over the pole, like the thing, the guardrail, and heckle. Like I don't know. That's not okay. And
That's a
then
lot.
obviously then to attempt to hit somebody and grab them by the shirt is also not okay. I
Right,
think
right.
that's
Obviously, they're both in the wrong here, but you
That's
know
okay. They had a phone call. They sorted it out. Uh, and
that guy got everything he wanted.
Rendon, negotiated his 5-game suspension down to 4 games. And yeah,
Real shame. He just missed half of his healthy season, but
that was yeah, good one, Jeremy. That
thank
was
you,
funny.
thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, yeah. Obviously, you can't be going around hitting people.
Yeah, that's
Just a general rule
I
of
think
life.
that's
Has
like
nothing to
grade
do with
school,
baseball.
like
Yeah.
kindergarten. Don't hit people, and I guess Rendon missed that day.
And then the rule right next to that is usually be nice.
Yeah.
You know.
And the guy in the stands clearly missed that day of
He also
kindergarten.
missed
It
that day.
was
Yeah.
the one missed one, and the other one missed the other, and it's just
What are you
caused
gonna
all
do?
sorts of issues.
The education system nowadays.
But it's okay. Now they learned. Rendon learned at age. How old is Rendon even?
It's like 32 or something like that. How old is Rendon? Wait, what? That's
32. Yeah, about to turn 33. Now finally learning don't hit people, but it's okay. We're proud of you, Rendon, for learning from your mistakes. Hopefully, we'll see. I guess we can't say he's learned from them yet because I mean we don't know. Maybe game back already. I
When is 4 games up? That's
what's today? Wednesday or today's Thursday? Do the
it
Angels
should be
play
coming
tonight?
soon. Yeah, they play
The
the
Angels do
Mariners,
not
don't they?
play tonight. Angels, no, that series is over. The Angels. So tomorrow night is his last game. They play against the Blue Jays,
Mm.
and then he'll be back Saturday.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, that's the Rendon stuff. The real, I guess, what was our other thing we wanted to talk about?
We wanted to talk about
Grayson Rodriguez. He's so good at baseball, Jeremy. Top pitching prospect Grayson Rodriguez made his debut yesterday against the Texas Rangers. He had a rough first inning, but after that, he settled down
You
pretty
locked
well.
him down. Yeah, he did.
Grayson Rodriguez had a really, it wasn't like a elite debut. Uh,
He matched Jacob DeGrom, and that's
yeah,
pretty
that's
damn good.
all I can really ask for. I'm trying to find the box score from that game, real
He went
quick.
5. He went 5 innings. He had 5 strikeouts and 2 walks, I believe. And he gave up like
Yeah,
2 or
because
3 hits.
command, that was like the big thing, his big issue. He walked 1, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 strikeouts. In 5 innings of work, that's like a solid debut. I think, he's going to be really instrumental to that Orioles team. When you're talking about like, Cole Irvin, Kyle Gibson, those aren't really like your front end starter type guys. Those are your 3 and your 4. And so, if Grayson Rodriguez, if he can take that step forward and become like an ace or like a 2 for this team, it's a pretty exciting roster already. Cedric Mullins is, a really good center fielder. Adley Rutschman is the best catcher in baseball. I'm just going to come out and say it. He's the best.
Yeah, he is.
I'm ready to crown him that. I understand the hesitation to do that, but he's the best catcher in baseball. Anthony Santander is really good. Mountcastle's solid. Gunnar Henderson, he's playing third base shortstop. Austin Hayes is a really good. We're talking about like a 6-hitter. Like that is a good 6-hitter, man. I love Austin Hayes.
I'm sorry, you're going down the list. This guy's great. This guy's playing third base.
I like this Orioles team, man. Jorge Mateo is gonna steal a ton of bags. It's a fun roster.
It's a fun roster.
It's a really fun roster. And yeah, I don't know. They just need a little bit more bench depth, and it could be a really exciting team. But it's okay, We get there when we get there. They're in a really tough division, and the Orioles want to kind of compete. I think I had them as like the number 2 team in this division.
I am at 4. So,
I know you did. I was very high on the Orioles. They kind of need Grayson Rodriguez. That was kind of part of it. Was Grayson Rodriguez and DL Hall come up, and so the sooner these guys are up and playing well, that way. So when John Means comes back, like this team's ready for playoffs. I think they can make a run.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
That team is very fun to watch,
That's
though.
a very fun team. You know who else is really fun, Jeremy?
Who's that?
Their division.
Not the Nationals?
Their division rivals, the Tampa Bay Rays, who haven't lost a game yet. 6 games in.
Yeah. 6-0, the only undefeated team left.
Yeah, first time in
It helps.
7 years that they've done this, or that any team's done this.
I feel like, nah, really?
Yeah,
Really?
they go 6-0. That's pretty hard, man.
I know, but I feel like there's been some really good teams these last couple years that.
They didn't go
didn't
6-0
go
though.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me.
So my question for you then, Jeremy, is how long do you think they can keep it going?
Well, at this rate, they won't
have a
lose
day
game.
off. So they have a day off today, and then they head into Oakland.
Oakland.
They head to Oakland.
Interesting. That'll be like I'm not
Or
gonna
that's
say
their
they'll lose.
homestand, but against Oakland.
Right.
I should clarify that. They play against probably who I would say are Oakland's top 3 starters. Uh,
It's Oakland though. Like,
it's Oakland.
no
Okay.
disrespect to Oakland, but full disrespect to Oakland.
And then after that 3-game set, they have a 4-game series against Boston.
Nothing against the Rays, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their first 3 series are against probably the 3 worst teams in baseball.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, the Rays are a good team, and good teams beat teams that they should beat.
Yeah.
You know, that's what this is right now. Like, I'm not gonna go out here and be like, the Rays, the best team in the league.
Oh,
because
that's
they're
not what
6
I'm
and
doing
0.
either.
No, I know that's not what you're doing.
But
It,
I like there is a shot where like if this team could be 13-0, like
yeah, I mean, because they go to Oakland. That's
no, they play against
again
Oakland. They
pretty
go
easy.
home. They're home against Oakland.
Oh,
and
they're
Boston.
home against Oakland.
Home against
And then
Oakland and Boston.
Boston is going to be the hardest opponent they've played, but like again, that's not even.
Now they do actually face starting pitchers against Boston. Boston's
they
been
have
doing this
played-
weird thing where they don't use starting pitchers.
What?
Yeah, they have Cutter Crawford as one of their starters, who isn't a starter.
It's
So
interesting.
yeah, it's a
I-
really interesting
it-
strategy.
There's teams that I've seen use the like the setup guy in like a first inning, or starting a game. Or
He's
what
not
is
an
it called? A
opener though.
starter?
They're not using him as an
Opener.
opener. They're not using him as an opener, Jeremy.
They're not.
They're using a guy who hasn't he started 4 games in AAA last year. He threw a combined like let's say just over 100 innings last year,
Mhm.
and he is their starting pitcher.
Like they're using it as a regular starter.
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna ask you why people use openers, but
Well, okay, yeah. So that is like you want to get your starting pitcher deeper into the game, right? Because I guess let's say you have like a 4 and dive type starter or 5 and dive type starter.
mhm.
You give them those 2 innings of an opener, or an inning or 1 inning or 2 innings of an opener, and then you can pretty much then go to your bullpen, like your 3 guys. And that's just kind of the whole mindset. It's like a bulk innings starter who's just there to throw 4 and dive or 5 and dive.
Mhm.
It's kind of came from the Rays when the Rays didn't have any starting pitchers, and so they just had a bunch of bulk relievers. But now the Rays have like one of the best rotations in baseball, so they don't do it anymore. Wait, is Mondesi already hurt?
That'd be crazy.
That would be Adalberto Mondesi's already hurt. Okay,
Of course.
cool. But yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised if this team went 13-0. It's like kind of shocking how bad the start of their schedule is. But I think it would be really funny if they went 13-0. I want the undefeated streak to go as long as it can possible.
I won't. I look at this rate. They're just not going to lose a game.
Yeah. I mean look, they still have like Glass now needs to come back.
Dude, that team's so good.
They still have like their one of like their better relievers. He's out with like neck tightness right now. I mean, he's not like their best, but like he's the guy who like made the team who would have made the team over Kevin Kelly. If that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah. Who snaps for Kevin Kelly? I know, wrong show, but
Oh, we forgot to
JMU
talk about
alum made the team, made the Rays, big leagues.
Yeah, he did.
Congrats! Woo! Let's
He's
go,
been
Kevin
pitching.
Kelly.
He's been
pitching.
pitching a good amount too.
Yeah. I mean,
He's had like
he's
4
a
innings of
bulk
work.
inning reliever. Yeah. Good for him. I mean, hey,
Yeah,
make some money while you're up there.
absolutely.
Enjoy it. But yeah, I don't know if there's any other like opening day storylines you want to talk about, or if you want to go kind of get to the meat and
Um,
potatoes.
the Mets put Justin Verlander on the IL
IL.
to start the season, and they've been struggling a little bit. Is this something that, like, the Mets are obviously the Mets are a good team, but is this going to affect their playoff hopes in a really tight NL type type deal where the Phillies and the Braves aren't starting off that slow? Uh,
Actually, yeah, they are. The
are they?
Mets. Yeah, the Phillies are 1-5. Uh,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, the
So I
Phillies have
mean,
played some good teams.
the Mets. I mean, hey, they're coming in against a division rival, the Marlins. They're tied for second with them right now. Come in, show out, like kind of play well against this team. Uh, I mean, hey, like you got yourself, you're back into the playoff hunt. If the Phillies kind of also had a 5-1 start, you know, you'd be like, man, like the Mets, they really got to grind. But it's a 162 game season. Uh, Omar Narvaez actually went on the I is going on the IL. Tomorrow, he'll be going on the IL. Uh, and the Mets are gonna call up their top prospect, Francisco Alvarez. That's like
Ooh,
kind of breaking news, ish. Uh, and I mean, you're talking about like the best catching prospect in baseball. Uh, and so to have that up and ready, that's scary. That and Brett Beatty can be up soon. So I think of all the teams here, I think the Mets have the easiest way of like infusing talent to kind of push off with, Like the
yeah.
Phillies, they don't really have anybody in their farm. The Braves probably will have somebody who will come up and just absolutely dominate and then get like a massive extension that's like, and by massive I mean a long time, not a lot of money. Uh,
Hmm.
and then we'll be like, okay, yeah, woo, another Brave. Uh, but I don't see a way where I don't see this
I
Mets
was
team
just
not making the playoffs.
right. No, I was just looking at the National League wild card.
Uh huh.
I want the season to end right now, just so the Pirates, Reds, and Padres can, or sorry, Pirates, Reds, and Diamondbacks can be the three wild card
I mean, I
spots.
told you, man. Watch out for the D-backs. Then the Reds just have like a really good top three. Like that's it. like, Graham Ashcraft is a lot better than I thought he was. I haven't watched him a whole lot.
Hmm.
That guy's nasty. And then obviously
Nasty.
Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo. Like it's just like as long as if the offense can score runs, then this team's good.
Of course, that's like a big ask.
I mean, hey, so far they're fourth in OPS, and they're not even like scoring a ton of runs. So it's just all been it's been a little bit of luck, but hey, I have faith. I have faith. They hit a lot of tanks. They're fifth in home runs early on in the year.
Excuse me.
The
Sorry.
29-year-old rookie that they called up, uh, he's having a year so far.
For him,
Yeah.
that's what that's interesting. Um, Older rookies like Meneses last year
Mhm.
and now this guy on the Reds. These guys that come into the league at 29 and 30 always seem to start super hot. Like,
Mhm.
and maybe this is just recency bias that I'm seeing.
Well, I mean, you've
But
this isn't even just necessarily recency bias. We talked about we didn't, but Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom, on those Cubs teams after they started rebuilding. Uh,
mhm.
it's you see these guys kind of have these breakout years. I mean, Yerman Mercedes. You remember when we were talking about him, like he was the next Mike Trout?
No,
We talked about Yerman Mercedes like every week
I'm
on the
sure
Triple
we
Threat Show.
did. I don't remember.
Because he was always doing stuff with the White Sox. You see
Oh yeah,
these
yeah.
guys. You know, Jason Volser is Vossler is the guy we're talking about right now. Because we just hadn't said his name yet. Uh, but you see these guys have these little stretches, and then the scouting department's like, oh, we gotta like actually like scout this guy and figure out what's his hole, and then they figure him out, and it's all about the adjustment. Uh, Joey Meneses so far is adjusted. Uh, Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom. Patrick Wisdom kind of adjusted. We're enough where he could stay in the league. Not enough to sustain that success that he was having. Frank Schwindel did not adjust. Remember, Mercedes didn't adjust. It's all about if they can adjust. Really is what if they are a major leaguer. For
Right.
real.
No, because you hear about it all the time. An older guy comes in, lights up the league for a week, and then disappears.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's just they hadn't figured him out yet, and then now he's gonna get figured out, or he won't.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. But it's hard to be like to sustain that success because typically, like if you're stuck in the minors, like, there's a reason why you're stuck in the minors.
Right. Yeah.
But hey, I mean, look at this guy. He's already almost at his projected WAR heading into this year. Jason Volsler.
Oh, good for him.
He was projected for .4 wins above replacement by Fangraphs. He's at .3, so snaps for that.
This is a success. This is a success.
The success story. This is the biggest success story of the year.
Of the year.
But yeah, do you want to talk about
Yes.
the CBA for minor leaguers?
That's actually what I was about to transition into.
So
yeah.
You can go through our channel. You probably won't find it because I don't think we've clipped it at all.
We might have clipped it.
We
It's
might
going
have
to be in
clipped
the
it.
older Triple Threat.
Yeah, it's going to be
Triple Threat
old
shows.
Triple Threat show. But we've always been kind of advocates for minor leaguers. We talked about like their living conditions ad nauseum before they started providing housing for them. We talked about how much they were making. Like this has been something that I personally am very passionate about. Jeremy, then because he does all these things with me, kind of has to keep up with it a little bit. But they now have, for the first time ever, a collective bargaining agreement for minor leaguers. It'll last 5 years, so it'll go just a year past the current MLB, CBA, and I mean, the biggest thing you look at is how much money they're making. Like, they're at least doubling salaries across the board. I think the lowest now salary is, what I'm looking here now, is going to be $19,000, almost $20,000 a year, which, I mean, it's, you're talking about the, Dominican, Winter League, Complex League, ball type facilities that are making that. But it's huge. This is a massive step forward. There's obviously still progress to be made. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we're talking about pros here. These aren't amateurs. They need to be making a livable salary, and they weren't. So any sort of pay increase is incredible. Something I kind of tweeted about when this news broke is, I mean, the fact that we are oh my God, this is crazy. That minor leaguers are making $35,000 after what were the first pay increase that happened was also really significant. And so to kind of compare that to what they were making 5-10 years ago, it's just night and day. So it's a massive improvement. One of the things that was kind of one of the players' concessions is that the reserve list, which is how many players can be playing for affiliated teams, was cut from 180 to 165 starting next year. So we're going to see fewer minor leaguers. Probably this is then you're going to see people who, after they get drafted, aren't going to be spending, uh, you know, as much time in pro ball. So we're going to see the life of a minor leaguer kind of change. I doubt, or I imagine we're going to see fewer of these, like, we're now at the Nats. You see, like, Matt Adams trying to make his way back to the big leagues. I don't think we see that kind of stuff. These, like, reclamation minor league projects as often with these new rules, if I had to guess on, like, the kind of effect this is going to have. And then you're also, there's also just a bunch of quality of life stuff that you're seeing with better food accommodations, better housing arrangements, which is always, like, super important. Because,
absolutely,
how are you supposed to have these players, like, develop if, like, if they're, starving, worrying about all these other, like, where am I going to sleep tonight, like, worrying about the roof over their head, all that stuff. I think this is an incredible move. It should have been done long time ago. And, I'm just really excited for these, for them. But hey, now they can also get more money also for, like, the licensing of themselves. So, like, games like MLB The Show, Out of the Park Baseball, we'll probably get a little bit more money from that. Which, like...
Ooh. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, obviously, excuse me. This has been one of the bigger issues surrounding baseball for a long time. I'm not going to say recently, for a long time.
It's just had more of a spotlight on it recently.
Yeah. You've seen, especially in the last 2 years, you've seen these types of improvements being made. You touched on the housing. That was a huge one about a year ago, when they forced teams to pay for housing. Huge. That's awesome. And it's just getting better. Little steps. These guys, as you mentioned, Hayden, their job. They need to get paid a livable wage for it, and this is a big step in the right direction. Obviously, they're not going to get paid the millions of dollars that the pros get paid, but that's not what they're asking for.
Yeah.
They're just
they just want to live, man. Like, that's what's crazy. That we're having this massive, like, arm twist of MLB, this multi-billion-dollar entity, to get people who want to play in the MLB to get paid a livable, not even like a comfortable wage, like just a livable wage where they're not, like, below the poverty line. And it's just, like, mind-boggling that this was such a, like, issue, like that, like, such a hard-fought thing. But hey, I'm glad it happened.
Yes.
I'm so happy that it happened. It's just, like, I just can't, it's just when you think about, like, the whole context of it, it just makes you shake your head a little bit. Just, like, it's a little disappointing that this had to be just an issue. But also, there's also, in somewhat news, a judge approved a $185 million settlement. So the minor leaguers are going to get a bunch of cash heading their way by MLB clubs. So, there's, like, two big little stories for minor leaguers, but this one, obviously the CBA really overshadowed that. But, turns out, maybe they should have paid minor leaguers more, and they should have been paid at least the minimum wage, which they were not. And they were professional athletes.
Ugh.
It's just,
but it's better now, and that's
better.
all that matters.
Woo!
That's all that matters. Obviously, improvements can still be made, but we're gonna take what's here. We're gonna celebrate this win, and then we'll ask for more later.
in 5 years apparently.
Is it 5 years? Is that how long the CBA is?
Yeah, it's until 2020, the end of 2027 season.
All right, that's not bad.
Yeah, which I mean, hey,
Yeah, not bad. All right. Did you have anything else that we missed,
no,
Aiden?
I mean obviously there's gonna be like kind of stories with like players having a hot season so far. Uh, but I feel like having an extra week of data uh, will kind of have us have a better conversation about it. So might as well just wait.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in to episode 7 of Rounding Third. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, your host of Rounding Third, joined as always by my friend and co-host.
Hayden Raymer.
Thank you so much for tuning in.